Hey, welcome back. Today's video is just going to be how I got this photo to look like this photo. It's just going to be a quick little run through of the different things and the different techniques that I use in Lightroom, so we're just going to hop right on into that. Okay, so once you have Lightroom open and you have the photo imported that you're going to be using and you're over in the Develop tab now, I typically like to screw around with exposure first just to get an idea of exactly how I want to edit it. This one's a little bit too dark, so I need to see exactly what I'm doing. And I'd push this to about 0.5, not too far. You don't want to blow it out a little, too much. And you don't want it to be too dark because you want to see what you're doing. So hit Control Z to go back, and we're going to stick with 0.5. The next thing that I like to do is use the white balance selector and choose something white in the room. I do remember that the pole here was white, so I'm going to click that. And honestly, I kind of like the way that this pink color looks. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you'll click something else that you think was white in the room, like this was white, but I wasn't entirely a fan of the blue here. And so if you hit Control Z and go back again, like I said, I think I like the pink. The next thing that I would be doing, I would probably screw around with the contrast, push it to about 20 because I just like the contrast pop that it gets. And then I would start screwing around with the highlights, shadows, whites, and blacks. Everything that I do from this point forward isn't an exact science, and it isn't always the final thing that I'll be doing. So we're gonna push the highlights a bit. I don't like it the way it looks when the S over here is that dark. So we're gonna actually push the highlights to about 65. I like the way that looks. I'll push the shadows a little bit to bring some light to her face. Probably push the whites some just so I can see the popping of the whites, and then bring the blacks down just a tiny bit, not too much because you don't want it to look way too dark, and not too bright because you don't want it to look washed out. So I bring those down maybe 7. With clarity, my personal preference with female models is I don't like bringing clarity way too high because it just gives this rough look and I'm not a fan of it. So I like to bring it to about 20 or so. I think that's about a fair one. It gives a soft look, gives more of a, it doesn't bring out too much definition, but it still allows the sharpness in the photo itself. From here, I typically screw around with vibrance and saturation, but I'm a fan of the pink, so I'm going to leave those alone. These are more fine detail highlight, lights, darks, and shadows, so you kind of screw around with those to get an idea of exactly how you want it to be. So I'll push these a little bit, kind of screw around, see what you like more. So I push the lights a tiny bit. The darks I would maybe bring down to, actually I'll leave the darks at 0 and bring the shadows down to about maybe 7. Again, I like the pink, so from here I won't really screw around too much with the color with the hue, saturation, and luminance tabs. So we'll just kind of continue going down. Again, split toning is more color. I don't really want to screw around with that too much. With sharpening, I'd probably push it to between 50 and 60. Probably go 60. And then noise reduction luminance as another softening tool, and I typically push that to 30, whether it be a wedding or modeling or whatever it may be. It's just something that allows the photo to just give a smoother look. I'll probably turn on the remove chromatic aberration, even though there isn't really any, you don't really see much of a difference. Enable profile corrections, I always leave that on. Sometimes I'll take it off if I like the way the photo looks, but with this one I'll leave it on. And then the last thing that I like screwing around with is the calibration. Again, with the pink, I'll probably leave it because these colors, I'm not too much of a fan of the purple or the yellow that I got. The green will kind of just get rid of the pink, so I'll leave that at 0. And then the hue on the blue, yeah, no, I'll leave that at 0 as well. I mean, the last thing that I kind of screw around with sometimes is vignetting, but not really too much of a, maybe. I'll have a tiny bit of vignetting. Yeah, about -14. And I think other than a few minor adjustments, I'd probably push the highlights a bit more. And then from this point, give it a crop. Maybe make it straight with the pole here, bring it down so that, you know what, I'm actually gonna bring her eye to that power corner there. See if I can bring this here. Cut that pole out entirely. Hit that right on the eye, and let's see. Yeah, I'm actually a fan of this photo. I think maybe pushing the shadows a little bit more, but still allowing the highlights and the shadows to pop off of each other. And I think this is the final photo. I'm actually a fan of the pink. I like the way that the highlights and shadows pop off of each other, and this would be the final photo that I would give over. And from this point, you would just export the photo down here to export. Just choose your desktop, name it something. I'm just gonna put S1, and we'll just click export. My dog won't stop barking, so I've had to wait for him to stop. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, it was a quick little run through of the different things that I do in Lightroom. It wasn't too in-depth because I got really lucky with that white balance and making the green turn right into a pink that I was happy with, honestly. If you guys actually like the video and you want to see more stuff like that, how I got different photos from, like, I do weddings and I've done portraiture. I don't really do landscapes too much because it's not my thing. But if you guys enjoyed the video and you want to see more of that, let me know below in the comments. Thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, click that subscribe button. And until next time, when my dog, he literally barked right as I said, when my dog isn't barking. But yes, I will see you guys next time.